So y'all, our adventure today is going to the ER because of me. Up until today, I haven't even been able to walk. Lost the ability to walk.
Good morning, y'all.
Morning.
We are going to Alamosa, Colorado.
And so we have a little predicament. You should always travel with an RV GPS if you have an RV. However, that comes with one big caveat, and that is sometimes it's a big steaming pile of junk. To be perfect, you can tell we don't pull any punches on this show. We just tell you the truth the way it is. Now, normally our RV GPS is wonderful. It's fantastic. But this time, I guess we're not getting sponsored by Garmin here because it keeps telling us you can't take this first section of the road. It doesn't care about the mountain pass we have to go over. It doesn't care about going up to 10,000 feet. It doesn't care about the switchbacks. It just cares about one little straight section of road. And for the life of me, we can't figure out why you don't want us to go on there. There's no weight restrictions. It's just a perfectly good section of road.
Yeah.
So we're just going to say, screw you, we're doing it anyways.
And I went on and did my research on another RV forum, and other people were asking about this route. They said it's fine. They take tour buses up there all the time. Matthew checked the live cams. There's no snow up there right now.
I even did Google Street View. Do you know how slow that is? I did Google Street View. It's fine.
Are you ready to get out of this space?
I'm ready to get out of all these trees. Let's get it.
Welcome to Colorado.
Yay! We finally made it to Colorado. There's the sign.
Yeah, it says, welcome to colorful Colorado. Everybody's been saying, when are y'all gonna go to Colorado? It only took us 3 years. We're here, y'all. It's an amazing drive, too.
All right, y'all, we are currently on the switchbacks that are probably among the hairiest part of this whole thing. And this is easy. This is really fine. So if your directions tell you to go over Cumbres Pass, which is Highway 17, leaving Lake Heron State Park and going towards Alamosa, Colorado, take it. Unless, there are websites you can take that you can go to that'll tell you if there's snow on the ground, if it's going to snow. Pay attention to that. But if the weather is fine, I don't see why any size rig couldn't take this. This is a fine, fine road. But do your own diligence. Don't take my word for it, but I'm just telling you, this is all kinds of pretty. Show them out the side window.
Yo, look at the snow.
We just passed a pocket of snow, too.
There's no snow on the physical road that we're on, and like Matthew said, he did some street. I think there's some live cameras along this path that you can see. They say we're going up to 10,000 feet.
Yep.
And supposedly there's some boondocking up here, too.
Oh, can you imagine boondocking up here? That would be sweet.
That'd be nice. And you can see the railroad track. Well, not anymore, but the railroad track goes down below. We want to take that. I think it goes from, Chama to Albritton or some other town that
starts with an A, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because when we tried to research about this road to see if it was safe to take, most people didn't want to talk about the road. They want to talk about the railroad. Oh, you have to take the railroad. Oh, you have to take the railroad, So.
Uh-huh.
Alright, y'all, I'm going to give you a tour of our site here at the Base Camp RV Park in Alamosa. We are site 18, but look at that mountain right there with the snow on it. Let's go this way. These sites are so long, as you could see when I first pulled in. They're very long. Let's go all, and they're very wide. It looks like their clubhouse right there. All right, y'all, this is the end of the site. It's gravel. They have little fences between the sites. They provide you a fire ring. Someone left some firewood. unless that's theirs. That might be theirs. I think ours is the other side. You get water, electric, and sewer, full hookups. Here is the back of the site, y'all. Like I said, the roads are gravel. The sites are gravel. We are site 18. Yeah, this must be our fire pit over here. That must be the neighbor's fire pit. So here's our picnic table. And they do have trees, but they're so tiny that they don't affect the RV, and they're not gonna scrape up against the RV. Good morning, y'all.
Morning. How y'all doing?
We have made one night here in Colorado, and we're going to our next spot. So hopefully once we make 2 nights with the RV, we can earn our Colorado sticker.
I didn't think we'd be earning Colorado for a long time because I just didn't think we'd be here.
We're waiting. I mean, this is not the norm for us, y'all. We like to be
Punctual.
out of the park as soon as possible, but lately we've been trying to stay in parks until they make you leave, meaning checkout times at 11, you gotta go, because the next spot we're going to is only maybe 20 miles down the road. We want to give the weekenders time to vacate in case they've got a prime spot that we want. We can't wait to show you where we wind up. But
yeah, it's very unique. Just wait till you see it.
you ready to go?
I'm really ready to get to this next spot. Let's get it.
All right, y'all, as you can see, it says 13.2. We are 13.1, and Matthew likes it to be 13.3 to go under this. We are not going under this. So we're going through the exit. We're renegades. Yeah, it looks like the air conditioner might have touched because there's like a beam under there. So y'all, if you come here, it's called the Mosca Campground, but another name is the San Luis Wildlife Campground.
Something like that, yeah.
It used to be a state park, and we're going to tell you all about it when we get set up. But you do need a pass to come in here, but it's good for a year.
I don't know what all passes qualify, but I do know if you get an SWA pass, that does qualify.
And the camp host has been here 12 years, and he checks to make sure you have your pass, and each person needs a pass.
Yep, and you don't have to get the pass until you get a spot, at least the way it is right now. He lets you go into town and get a pass or get one online, but you do need one.
All right, y'all, I'm going to give you a campsite tour of our site here at San Luis Campground. I think it's also known as Mosca Campground. That used to be San Luis Lake, and from what I've heard, it doesn't always have water in it. Right now it looks like there's a little bit of water. We'll try to walk to that later. We chose site 18, but it backs up to 19. It's a pull through. It's like a double site. I don't know how that works, but maybe like if you're camping with friends, that's how it worked back in the day, because this used to be a state park that now is an abandoned state park that the wildlife organization has taken over now. So anyways, they provide you a picnic table with the clamshell. I'm calling it a clamshell. I don't know what else it's called. You get a fire pit right here. We're hoping the wind dies down so we can enjoy a fire. Snow-capped mountains, y'all, May 19th. It's very windy today. Here's our site. Let me walk you this way. We're number 18 and 19's behind us, but since it's been abandoned and just the wildlife has it now, I don't know how often people share this site unless they already knew each other and they came in together. But they do provide you electric. We get 50 amp at this site. You just I don't know if all of the electric works on every site, so just something to check before you get unhooked. So yeah, there's the electric. You do not get water, and that's the camp host behind us. He does walk around and check to make sure that you have the passes, y'all. Hey y'all, so Matthew's just giddy.
Yay!
this is a guy that's recovering from heights, and we just drove, I don't know how many.
I want to say it's 13 or 1400 feet up here.
I mean, we just went straight up.
Yep.
And I think we're going to do, and it's late Sunday evening. It's like 5:25. We're going to do like maybe a 1 mile hike. I think it's a waterfall hike. I don't know. We'll see.
This mountain is what we can see from the RV, and I just saw this serpentine road that goes straight up the mountain. I didn't know what it was, and I got on All Trails. It's Zapata Falls, and the falls are way up here, and then they have hiking trails that go way up. Wait till Sean shows you. Did you know that one of these peaks up here is a 14er? If you know what a 14er is, that's exciting. It's not one that we can do because this is a climbing 14er. It's not just a walking one, but that's exciting to get so close to one. And if you don't know what that is, Google's your friend.
Let me show you where he parked this, y'all. Apparently they have a parking lot for trucks over 20 feet or vehicles over 20 feet. Here we are. Hope we don't go over the edge, but I don't know if y'all can see in the distance. We are way up here on the mountain.
Holy moly.
I know, right? All right, y'all, we're on the Zapata Falls Trail. It's only a mile to the falls, and I feel like I'm already
I was just going to say.
I'm out of shape.
Well, you know how you get in shape?
Keep doing this.
Keep doing this.
Oh, wow. I can feel the coolness, y'all.
It's like the AC got turned on.
Do you take your shoes off and go in there? Or?
I'm not going in there. I'm just here to observe.
The story of Zapata Falls. Y'all want to see it? Let me see if I can get into it. Y'all can pause it and read. All right. Oh, wow. There's a lot of people up here.
Oh, so you got to take your shoes off just to go all the way up there. Wade through the water to get all the way up to the falls themselves.
Wow, that cool air feels amazing, man.
I know. So where are the falls? I guess you have to go way up. You have to go way up in there to see them.
You do?
Yeah.
I'm not taking my shoes off.
So folks, this is Zapata Falls. It is like ants on a log, just a big tourist attraction, but it is pretty.
Yeah. All right, oh, we did Zapata Falls. Was it even a mile? It didn't seem that long.
1.2 miles, but we did a modified version. We took another loop around like the picnic area, so it was about 9/10 of a mile or so. What did you think about it before we get into the numbers?
My favorite part was when you got up to the falls, you could feel this rush of air conditioning, which was really nice. It was just too busy. I mean, and it's like 6:15 on a Sunday night, and people were still coming up as we were coming down. And I didn't want to take my socks and shoes off and then leave them. One of our friends suggested bringing water shoes. I guess that's an option, but we didn't have water shoes.
Yeah, the trail was extremely rocky, which we're used to rocky trails, but they're our least favorite. So I would say it was worth seeing. The drive up here was more fun for me, but it was good exercise. And speaking of exercise, we'd had 194 feet of elevation gain, 1.24 miles long, and we burned 322 calories. So maybe that'll help burn off supper, which we haven't had yet.
Yeah, and there were people of all ages going up and down this. Don't be afraid to bring your walking sticks because it's really rocky. We even saw people that were way up in age.
I would say a pretty elderly person who had 2 walking sticks, and they were going real slow, but they were making it.
They wanted to see the falls. I mean, I don't know if the falls were better if you actually took your shoes off, but they said the rocks were slippery, and once you got to a point, you literally had to get in the falls to climb up further.
Well, you had to get in the water to see the falls.
But I don't know how much further you had to go, but it was really busy.
But there were a lot of benches, big benches.
Yeah.
So if you are mobily challenged, but you think you can do this because it's so short, it's very rocky, but there are a lot of benches. Everywhere you turn, there's like when the path turns, there's another bench. So lots of opportunities to sit and rest. Take your time.
All right, y'all, we're going down.
We are going down, and this is an amazing drive.
That down there below is the plains, and then you can see the snow-capped mountains in the distance, and below those is the great, what is it?
Great Sand Dunes National Park is what you're looking at. But don't tell anybody, because you're not supposed to film it, but we're not in the national park, so...
Right, y'all can see it because we ain't in the park. Alright, y'all, I'm just sitting here trying to work, and I think the winds today were going to be sustained. Is it 27 or 28?
Somewhere in there.
I don't know if y'all can hear. I'm hoping you can hear, but the wind is blowing on the RV. The RV is making all these noises, and it's just constant, consistent, right? And we're supposed to go walk after supper. It's right now like 4:43, and I think Matthew said the peak was gonna be maybe 5, and then it should go back down. But all right, y'all, look out our window. We are still in the same place. We are here in the abandoned state park. Now, when we showed you the site tour, you could see kind of the lake, the San Luis Lake. You could see mountains with snow. You could get a glimpse of the sand dunes from the Great Sand Dune National Park. Nothing. It's completely like a desert storm outside with all of this wind. Let me show you over here. Some tent campers moved in. They're out there trying to set their tent up. They're probably thinking to themselves, yo, we didn't pick a good day to probably try to set a tent up. I mean, it would be miserable trying to set a tent up in this weather, y'all. And it's rocking the RV. I can't imagine what it's doing with the tent, but hopefully the mountains will show back up again, because we really love our view of the mountains. And right now, it just looks like we're in a dust bowl. It's just so strange.
So y'all, today is Saturday, and it's supposed to be our adventure day. Well, either today or tomorrow is supposed to be our adventure day. So our adventure today is going to the ER because of me. The short story is I hurt my hip, back, leg, something like that pretty seriously. Up until today, I haven't even been able to walk. Lost the ability to walk. I could shuffle along with my body kind of bent all the way perpendicular to the floor. Now today I've been able to walk upright a little bit. We just got me a cane, but the pain is unbearable when I walk, and we have to leave in a week. So that means a lot of moving, a lot of heavy lifting, and stuff that I can't do, obviously. So we need to be able to go. So we have to go to the ER. I tried Teladoc. That didn't give us very good results. We'll talk about that later.
Are you in the ER?
I've been bad. I'm in the ER.
He's in the sitting room because he can't lay in the bed, y'all. So they said instead of putting him in the bedroom, they put him in the chair room.
It's been the worst of years. I don't even know where to begin. It's been the worst of years. The hardest that it's ever been. I've scraped for everything. Now I'm trying to find my feet again. Oh, but each time I fall, I'm reaching out for your hand. And every time I'm alone, you're the lift I've been waiting on.
All right, I've got a question for y'all. Did you know that life can change just in an instant? That's what just happened to us, and more specifically what happened to me. And let me back up and tell you what happened. So a few weeks ago, you remember when we blew out the 2 tires? 2 separate videos. So I had to get under there with the tire. You crank it down. Remember, I cranked the slide out accidentally. Everybody had a good chuckle about that. But when you put the tire back, and even when you take the tire out from under the RV, you're upside down. It's not a very good position. I know how to lift things. Lift with your legs, not with your back. I've lifted that hitch, that 200-pound hitch that's in the back of our truck. I'm the one who put it in there by myself. But when you're like this, like a lizard upside down, there's no good way that I know of. And if there is a good way, I sure didn't find it. I screwed up. So I twinged my back a little bit. Nothing too serious, right? I could stand up, sit down, do squats, but I couldn't bend forward very much without a little bit of pain. All right. So that's going to fast forward until this past Monday. We're right here. As Sean likes to say, we were very much looking forward to getting to do a lot of stuff here. What did we do here before Monday?
Driving here and back to the RV park that we stayed at for one night, we passed something called Zapata Falls. And so we decided to drive up there, and that's where they have a 1 mile hike to the waterfall, which y'all got to see. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Matthew's mobile. I'm mobile. We're fine. We get back Sunday. Matthew wakes up Monday morning. He said, I'm feeling really good. I think that hike did me some good. I can bend over, touch my toes, because, he had pulled something in his back on the right side, or it was just a sore point or whatever. I'm like, that's great. We're going to be here for 2 weeks. The Blackstone's in the RV because we use it as our Congo line.
It braces the desk between the kitchen island and the desk. So
I want it out of the RV. I want my floor space back. We were about to do some filming for a video. Y'all probably saw it. If not, we'll link it below, called Bad RV Advice. And so I needed all the floor space so we could do our shots and stuff like that for that video. And so he went to pick up the Blackstone, take it outside, and he came back in. He said, "Thanks for making me move the Blackstone. Now I'm hurt." And I'm like, how is this my fault? Because he's moved it, y'all, 1,000 times, probably.
I mean, over the last 3 years, I've moved it from the inside of the RV to the patio. Sometimes we keep it in the pass-through storage when we're here, back out to the patio. You get the point. In and out, and it's cast iron. And it comes in like a carrying case. Ours does, at least, so you can tote it like a suitcase kind of, or like a big, huge duffel bag. So.
And he was like, "I can't bend over now. I told you I was feeling good. I can't bend over." And I think you could stand up straight at that point because we were able to film that day.
Yeah, so I couldn't bend over before very much, because remember we told you about the tire, like a lizard upside down? That didn't really change, but the pain that I felt all down on my right side sort of went away for the most part on Monday. And then Tuesday comes, and as all of you know where the story is going, when the next day comes, that's when you feel like dog mess. You just feel lower than dirt. So I did, but when I woke up, everything changed. My symptoms changed. Remember, before I couldn't bend over very much. That changed. Kind of like you wake up and you speak another language. That's exactly what happened to me, only with my back and my legs and all that. So anyways, I woke up and I won't do it because you might not be able to see me, but I could bend over like I'm trying to touch my toes. So I was standing up and I could do this, right? I can bend over like I'm touching my toes. Everybody touch your toes. I could not stand up straight. I could not stand up at a 45-degree angle. That's as high as I got. Was like a really elderly man who could only reach for the floor. That's it. And that's the only way my legs would move, because the pain was beyond a 10. It felt like something exploding inside my hip. And it went all the way down to my foot. And everybody's saying, sciatica, sciatica. Okay, well, hold your comments to the end, because there's more. So now you're going to have to help me with the timing. What happened after that?
Well, that was Tuesday.
Tuesday morning. So
he could barely walk, but he figured out if he stayed bent over, he could walk. And then I'm not, in a good place at that point, because I'm a wimp when it comes to me being sick and stuff like that.
Well, you've been through a lot.
But when he's down, then it makes me feel worse. I'd rather just be a wimp and deal with, I don't know. I just don't like that feeling. I want to know what y'all think.
You don't like the feeling of me being disabled.
Right. That's what I mean by it. And then he's the one that does a lot of the physical stuff. And your mind is starting to move, and I'm trying to work and trying to find another job, because you know about our job situation, and I'm just freaking out in my mind because we don't know what is going on. And we're like, well, let's just give it a day or whatever, and then see
Yeah.
what the next morning brings. And
Because
then,
we still had a couple of weeks here almost by that point. So what day did we...
well, Tuesday night, Matthew's like, I'm going to call Teladoc tomorrow,
That's
which
what-
was
yeah.
Wednesday, to see if Teladoc could give him a muscle relaxer.
Because
you're like,
Teladoc is free through our insurance.
and it was our very first time using it, and let's explain our situation.
So, called Teladoc, and let me say the doctor was very nice. Very nice.
Very pleasant.
And I got to speak to her right away. She seemed very bright and all that, but I tell you, when it comes to Teladoc, that's my opinion of it now.
Because they can't help you much with prescriptions, right?
No, and what happened was, so I talked to her, blah, blah, blah. She talks to me, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, she comes up, here's what I think your problem is. She said, part of it, I think, is your sciatic nerve, which obviously that might be part of it. But then she says, and I think you have...
Degenerative disc disease.
That's it. See, that's...
Based on what,
That's
though?
the bigger part of my brain right there, because I don't remember stuff like she does. That's not new. I've always been this way. So, degenerative disc disease based on what? No test. Didn't even have me tilt the camera to look at my darn legs or my back, or have Sean hold it and have me do this, reach down, stand up, anything, nothing at all. So I'm like, all right, well, thank you very much. And she said, I think you need muscle relaxers, but I can't prescribe them. Okay.
That was the main reason we called you.
Yeah, because I thought your muscles hurt, you maybe need a muscle relaxer. I didn't even ask for it. And I said, I don't want pain meds. All I want is something that's going to fix this faster.
Right.
So that was my mission. So can't give me muscle relaxers. She gave me a steroid dose pack, which she said, I normally can't do this. They don't like us to do this, but at our discretion, we can prescribe steroid dose packs. And it turns out it was a little wimpy version, but I'll get to that. And then she prescribed me an over-the-counter pain patch, which doesn't do much for me. I'm not saying you shouldn't try it, but it wasn't fantastic. So anyways, that was our process. And then we tried those things. And what day is today?
Today's Sunday.
Today's Sunday. So yesterday, we've gone back and forth as to what should we do. Let's just give it time. Maybe I'll heal in time. We can be very creative when it comes to moving day. You know, the same things that you would be doing. You'd be saying, hey, how are we going to accomplish this step and this step and this step? And you'd be brainstorming, and we thought, all right, worst case scenario looks like this, best case scenario looks like this. And then Saturday comes.
And Matthew's like, I still feel pain when I'm walking. The lidocaine patch that the Teladoc prescribed me is not helping that much. The steroids not helping that much. And at that point, she said he couldn't take any pain relievers with the steroid. So
No
he
NSAIDs
has
or
no
anything, yeah.
pain reliever at all. And so...
Except for the patch, which is on my hip, because that's the epicenter of the pain.
So our insurance, we have Blue Cross, and we're out of Florida, which we can use nationwide. We just have to find clinics and stuff that are in network. So we walked into the ER, and Matthew just cannot stand, barely walk. He's immediately sits down. I check him in. They give me, and they just need his license and insurance card.
Yep.
And then they gave me a clipboard. I was about to fill it out. And then the nurse called him back, the triage nurse, and I thought I was just supposed to stay in the waiting room, but I went back with him and got all of Matthew's information, and they said, well, I'm going to go ahead and take you back to your room. Do you want a wheelchair? And we're like, yes, wheel him back to the room. And so she got us back to the room, but it looked like kind of like another waiting room, but she said, I brought y'all to a chair examining room instead of a bedroom. And she started laughing because he can't. Oh, that was another thing I don't think we told you. Matthew can't lay in the bed at all.
So my pain is twofold. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because we totally forgot.
Right.
My pain is twofold. I cannot be on my right leg, so obviously that's the greatest amount of pain, but I can't even be straight. If I were to stand straight up and down, that would hurt me. If I were to lay straight on the floor, that would hurt me, whether on my front or my back. I couldn't arch my back. I couldn't do any of that stuff. So I couldn't even sleep in the bed because we had one of those memory foam mattress pads, which isn't very good, but we've got it. And so it pushes up from underneath, and oh man, the unfathomable pain that I got from that thing.
So he's been sleeping in our
Theater
seating.
Yep.
And so they listened, and so they put him.
So I can't sit on the edge of the bed because my feet don't quite touch the floor. That's what we were getting at.
So she said, I didn't put you in a bedroom. I put you in a chair room. I'm like,
because
oh,
my
that's
feet
nice.
wouldn't touch the floor, so they'd be dangling, and that would hurt me.
And then the nurse practitioner came in and got all of Matthew's history and stuff like that.
And I won't bore you with all the details of that, but she listened, she went away. She came back, she went away, she came back a couple of times. And what she was doing was, obviously she has a wealth of information in her own right, but she didn't just spit out the first thing that came to her mind. And let me tell you, we've been to a few ERs before. And some medical professionals are right on the money. They know what they're talking about. Some of them don't really know what they're talking about, but they're going to tell you what's on their mind, and then that's all you get. Not with her. This lady did some fine work. She went and consulted her colleague, another nurse practitioner and a doctor. The nurse practitioner she was consulting happens to volunteer or work for one or the other, the local military base. And they obviously see more injuries than maybe a regular hospital will, and she knew exactly what was going on, so they talked about it. And she did some other studying and research on her own, and she told me she was going to do this. And she came back and gave us the most educated medical opinion she could, and it made total sense. And so what she did was she ended up giving me a prescription for the same steroid, but instead of 4 milligrams, what did she give me?
40 a day.
Yeah, 40 milligrams a day. So I went from the kiddie pool to the big boy table. So what I noticed, y'all, is my pain is not going down the back of my leg. That's traditional sciatica. The pain is not going down the back of my leg. It's not even going down the side of my leg. It's all on the front, which is weird. So again, not boring you with details, but she listened to all that, and I didn't need any more lidocaine because it didn't seem to do much by then anyways. And then she gave me a muscle relaxant. And what happened from there?
Well, she said what he probably did that helped her determine what type of medication he needed was because he had the back pain before, not knowing. She said a lot of times when you go and do movements, you don't know that you're compensating for maybe the pain that you have one place and then you're putting it somewhere else, right?
So I went from my previous back pain to where I couldn't bend over very much to all of a sudden, all I can do is bend over and I can't stand straight up and down. It's a 180-degree shift. And all of that helped her come to that conclusion.
Yeah, she said everybody's body is different, and she said she still believed that the sciatica was flared or inflamed, and he had a muscle sprain or some muscle strain or something like that. But she said it is going to take time, and we're like, well, we're full-time RVers and we move every 2 weeks.
So now let's put a break in this conversation and move to a different side of things, which is we have a timetable. 2 weeks. If you boondock, you ought to be used to the 2-week limit. It's the most popular time length there is. So we've got to leave in a little less than a week from today. So that's what's going through our mind. And as I told him, I don't need pain meds. I'm not a wimp. I don't want pain meds. I don't want anything clouding my mind. All I really want, prescription pain meds that is, all I really want is something that's going to make this better, faster. So that's the idea. That's why we went there, and that's what we told her, and we were up front with her. We need this to get better, faster, because I can do things that she can't when it comes to moving. It's not a male versus female thing. It's a stronger versus not as strong thing. So that's just life. So our ability to travel has changed. It has been severely limited or almost eliminated if it weren't for the fact that we have to move. We don't have any choice. So this is going to work out somehow.
And I think my point is, when you think, oh, if something happens to the spouse that does the driving and stuff, then you need to know how to tow. Well, that doesn't seem to be the problem.
You can do that.
That's not the main problem. You have to think of everything else. You don't think about the things like the propane tanks are really heavy, right? So I'm like, oh, great. If we run out of propane, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to go buy one of them little ones, right, that you see outside of Walmart. Or if you're boondocking, how am I going to put more water into the RV? Like physical things that he does that I can tow us out of here, but I'm not strong enough to do some of the physical
it's not just the
things.
towing. And everybody's setup is different. Some people may have a setup where that's not a big deal, but for ours, and like the power cord, if you're going to put it back properly at least, which obviously that might not happen, but if you put it back properly, it goes in a bin. That bin is very heavy. The bin weighs more than the water does. So it's between 50 and 75 pounds, I'd say. There's no way she's going to lift that. And I can't lift it right now.
The other thing is our stairs. We don't have the lift assist with our stairs. We have very
Right.
heavy MORryde stairs. He usually always lifts the stairs and puts them down. So that's another thing you have to think about. How are your stairs if you're not the main one that lifts them up and down? Live life to the fullest, because I mean, anything can happen to change the way that you know life, whether it's for good or for bad. You just never know.
Which is another thing about traveling. If we were to have waited, because when we started off, this was 3 years ago, and we started praying about it 4 years before that. So 7 years ago, we were 7 years younger than we are now, nowhere near retirement. We're still not near retirement age if we ever get to. If you were in our position and we would have waited till retirement, who knows what could have happened. This could have happened to me living in Mississippi, doing something else, and maybe it wasn't a temporary thing. Maybe it turned out to be a permanent deficiency. You never know. So if you have the opportunity to do something and Lord's willing for you to do it, then you should probably take a hold of that. If you don't have to wait another 20 years to do something, maybe you shouldn't be waiting.